Among the many parts of the world experiencing extremes of weather is Madagascar. What aid workers call its forgotten drought has so far lasted 4 years. Scientists blame it on climate change, with its impact reducing parents to feeding their already malnourished children with insects or cactus. The island of Madagascar is off the east coast of Africa. The south of the island is facing its worst drought in 40 years. During its planting season, it got only 50% of its usual rainfall. According to the UN, it's putting 1 million of its people at risk of famine. Madagascar only contributes 0.01% to global emissions. Aid agencies say it shows how the world's poorest people are being hardest hit by the climate change that they have done the least to cause.
US climate envoy warns that the suffering caused by the coronavirus will be magnified many times over if the world fails to tackle global warming.
This test is now as acute and as existential as any previous one.
Torrential rain in central China is causing widespread disruption. These passengers had to be rescued from a subway train. Let's get some of the day's other climate-related news. And dozens of wildfires in the western United States and Canada are lifting smoke into eastbound air currents that are worsening air quality on the Atlantic coast. The fires are led by a massive blaze in Oregon, the Bootleg Fire, which has forced thousands of residents from mostly rural areas to abandon their homes. More than 80 wildfires are raging in 13 of the western states. The French Parliament has approved a climate change law that environmentalists say falls far short of its initial objectives. The National Assembly has decided that most fossil fuel cars will be banned from 2030 and single-use polystyrene food containers from 2025. But the offensive ecocide, killing the environment, will be the equivalent of a misdemeanour, not a felony, as environmentalists have demanded. An expedition that will draw together Israeli, Arab and European scientists has set out on a mission to shed light on how corals in the Red Sea are coping with global warming. Studies have found that reefs in its northern waters have an unusual capacity to endure significantly higher temperatures.
The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has pledged funding within a matter of days to get essentials to flood victims without going through severe bureaucratic delays. She was speaking in the devastated town of Bad Münstereifel, and she said a cabinet meeting would free up finances on Wednesday.